After I've written an academic paragraph and rewritten it a few times, and before I proofread it, or have my wife do that, I always read it for unity and coherence. A good paragraph must have unity. Having unity in a paragraph means that all the sentences and ideas within the paragraph are closely related to the topic sentence. Unity is important to help readers easily understand and follow what you are arguing without confusion or distraction. To achieve unity, you always need to be focused on the one central idea of the paragraph as stated in your topic sentence. So go through each sentence in your paragraph and make sure that it directly supports the stated purpose of this paragraph. I'll show you exactly how to do this in a paragraph at the end of this video. Now for coherence. A coherent paragraph flows smoothly, with each sentence leading naturally to the next one, and all the sentences are organized logically in a clear sequence. Let's start with a few simple things that can help your paragraphs cohere. Consistent verb tense. This paragraph comes from a passage discussing the night of the living dead. Ben is protective of Barbara, but only somewhat so. When Barbara first enters the farmhouse, she discovers a partially consumed corpse and flees. Ben, just having arrived in a pickup truck, intercepts Barbara and, with a tire iron, gallantly dispatches several lurching men who are becoming numerous, and finally leads the hysterical Barbara back into the house. It's all present tense. If you're writing history paragraphs, I imagine it's in past tense. Whatever paragraph you are writing, the tense should be consistent. Another simple thing that will help your coherence is to make sure that your pronouns have clear antecedents. An antecedent is the person, place, thing, or idea to which the pronoun refers. Here's an example of an unclear antecedent. When Ben talked to Harry, he was angry. Who was angry? Harry or Ben? One of my major principles in academic writing is the reader shouldn't have to work. The writer should be doing all the work to make things clear, and pronouns and antecedents are part of that. The third way to improve coherence in your paragraph, this one's a little harder, and it's huge, using transitional words and phrases. I've got a story for you. I got a message from a former student who was distressed and distraught. It was late at night and they were writing a paper for a fourth-year nursing class. She had written 3 papers for this course already and had received a C+ on all of them. So I guess if she didn't get an A on the one that she was writing right now, the last paper of the course, she would not have a high enough mark for the course to qualify her to become a nurse. I'm not entirely sure how it worked, but I knew it was high stakes. The only feedback she received on all her previous papers was a C+ and the word style. Something was wrong with her style? So she asked me for help. So I'm wondering what I could possibly do to help. Like, this was a nursing class, and I don't know what nursing professors want in their papers, or what they might mean by style. But I told her to email what she had written so far. When I read that first page, I knew instantly what her problem was. She had no transitional words or phrases. Here's a whole bunch. The idea here is not to sit with this list and find words to stick into your paragraph. Your sentences should be related to each other. So all you need to do is put the appropriate bridge word that signals the relationship. That nursing student, she knew all the relationships between her sentences. She just never put the word in. And her prof wasn't able to articulate what her problem was. It's just that her paragraphs weren't really coherent. And some of these words are really little. Also, on the other hand, yet. Here's a decently written paragraph. Let's look at unity first and then coherence, and see how all this is achieved. Let's break this paragraph up into sections so as to analyze the unity more closely. So we have a topic sentence about how zombies are mundane or imminent or ordinary. The next sentence provides a more specific example, Romero's famous zombie movie. The next sentences explain how that movie presents zombies as mundane monsters. And the last of these shows a link to the topic sentence. The zombies are our neighbors, zombies are mundane. Then the paragraph moves on to a second point on the same topic. They are mundane because they possess neither supernatural nor superhuman qualities. These supporting sentences go into a compare-contrast mode, comparing modern monsters to older ones, and comparing modern zombies to other modern monsters. The next 2 sentences link the conclusion of the second point back to the topic sentence. The zombies bleed and decay, therefore they're ordinary and mundane. And that last sentence, it takes the central idea of the whole paragraph and it links it to the thesis of the whole paper, which is that zombies are monsters for our time, modern monsters for a modern time. And I think it could also be transitioning to the next paragraph, which may be how the settings of zombie narratives are also mundane and ordinary. So this paragraph has unity. Does it have coherence? To see if this paragraph coheres, let's look for bridges between sentences. After the topic sentence, the first body sentence ends with zombies, and the following sentence begins with the pronoun they. The antecedent ends the first sentence, and the pronoun begins the second. That's a bridge between those two sentences. Interestingly, is a bridge word linking the previous sentence to an interesting and relevant fact. The effect of all this. This connects all the body sentences so far. They're making the first point, and so it draws a summary conclusion. The next sentence is the first in the second point about the ordinariness of zombies, and it starts with the phrase about the ordinariness of zombies. It's linking the next point to both the first point and the topic sentence with the use of the word ordinary. Now for something really interesting and important. The next sentence could just as easily have read, "Zombies lack supernatural qualities like these creatures." But look at how the coherence of the paragraph improves with the inversion. Like these creatures, comma, zombies lack supernatural qualities. Like these creatures links to the creatures mentioned in the previous sentence. And the phrase, lack of supernatural qualities, is now closer, literally, to the phrase, zombies lack superhuman attributes. So by flipping it around, you put these things literally closer to each other, strengthening the connection between these sentences. Cool, eh? The however is a linking word, and it bridges to the next sentence. And in the one after that, coherence is maintained by using the words supernatural and superhuman, words that were used in the previous sentence. The next sentence, the second last one, I'm wondering if there's a problem here. Not just with coherence, but maybe with unity. This one's talking about zombies not being like supernatural monsters only. But in the previous sentence, we brought the whole paragraph to the place where we've said that the zombies are neither supernatural or superhuman. And now we're going back to just the supernatural again? That doesn't really work for me. But I do like the second part of that quote. That's probably why it ended up in my draft. But the important thing is that if I were not reading this paragraph for unity and coherence, I never would have come across this problem. And that's why you should make this one of your read-throughs. I have three options with this sentence. One is just leave it the way it is, because it shows that I'm doing some good quoting, and we know professors like that. And let's face it, there's a good chance that he or she won't notice the problem. But then I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. A second option is I could cut out the phrase, unlike the spirits of distant generations, and only use the last part of the quote. And now that I think about it, in that form it might be better than the Bishop quote. So maybe I'd keep it and toss the Bishop quote. And the third option, I could just delete the whole sentence. This kind of thinking and wrestling is what writing is. I hope that this helps you write more coherent and unified paragraphs. Thank you, and happy writing.